Field lineups are an integral part of any good contest sim. I feel like we throw the term around a lot, but we haven't really explained what is a field lineup or what are field lineups. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video here. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at SaberSim. Let's jump right. Our projected field lineups are our best prediction of what the lineups you are competing against in your contest are going to look like. These include things such as exposure, such as stack types, such as secondary stack correlations. SaberSim has always used a field lineup model to create our own ownership projection. So adapting our ownership model for contest sims was a smooth transition for us. In case you aren't too familiar with our ownership model, what we do is we run what we call an ownership build here, which we build lineups with certain inputs and rules, and the exposures from those builds become the ownership projections. We used to only have one set of ownership projections, essentially just projecting the flagship contest ownership. But we knew when we started to create custom contest sims that we needed to be more specific. So we ended up setting out on a project to create 3 different sets of ownership here, one for low stakes, one for medium stakes, one for high stakes. But when our data science team got into the work, they realized that we needed more sets, and we ended up creating 13 different sets of ownership to represent the different stakes and size and entry limits for the contest that you play in. The first way to see these different ownership sets here is to go to the My Own column, click on the gear icon, and then you can see this SaberSim ownership dropdown, all the different options here. So if you are playing a low stakes single entry contest, well, hey, the ownership is going to be different than if you were playing a high stakes single entry contest. So one of the easiest ways to see the differences is come in here, sort by my ownership, select one. So we see that at the low stakes single entry, Evan Engram is our most popular player here at about 29%. If I go to the high stakes single entry, let's see how those ownerships change. And Evan Engram goes from 29% owned at the low stakes single entry to 47% owned at the high stakes single entry. So we can see that the higher the stakes, the more the field is getting to some of the better point per dollar plays or just better plays overall on a given slot. Another way you can see the exposures or characteristics of these field lineup builds here is to go to the contest tab, go down to ownership contest, and then these are our buckets of ownership here. And you can click on any one of these and it will actually bring up the lineups in that set of field lineups. If you pop out this players tab, well, hey, you can come in here. I want to see what type of stacks are being used. I want to see what the secondary stacks are. I want to see what players are being used, what quarterbacks, compare them across the board here. And you can do this for each and every position here. So this is another way to be even more specific about the field lineups and get some detail. At this point, you might be saying, hey, Andrew, it's great that we have all these options, but, why are they even important, right? So if you're completely new to the concept of contest sims, I would recommend watching the video that Jordan recently put out called WTF is a DFS contest sim, which will give you a better understanding of contest sims as a whole. And I will provide the link to that video in the description of this video. But the reason it's so important to accurately represent the field is because your lineups are battling against these field lineups each and every time we run the contest sim. We are playing that simulation out 100,000 times. So if you are not accurately representing the field, if we are not doing that for you here, then you're going to get these false signals about which lineups are good and then end up putting the wrong lineups into your contest, right? So that's why it's so important, and that's why we have built out so many buckets to try and capture the nuance between contest to contest so accurately. One last thing I wanted to mention is that if you are on the pro or ultimate plan here, after a slate is completed, usually the following day here, you can come into the contest tab and you can click on any one of these contests and we will pull up all of the users who played, all of the lineups in the contest, and then we will run post-contest sims and you can see how your lineups did as a whole here as a portfolio in the contest with the actual lineups that were played here, not just the hypothetical lineups that we believed would be in your contest. So I think that you can also get a lot of value from taking advantage of our contest flashback tool and our post-contest sims. But that about does it for this video here. Appreciate everybody who watches these videos. If you guys have any questions about anything we covered, send us an email, support@sabersim.com. Thank you.